Are you a brand new final expense insurance agent, or maybe you're a veteran insurance agent that needs to know, first off, how do I get aged final expense leads? And number two, how do I handle them once I do get them? Half the battle is how you build value with these great leads. Leads are leverage. They're a great opportunity to have a conversation, but we're going to give you 4 tips that are going to help you hopefully make more conversions with spending less in capital when you're buying good, high quality, aged final expense leads. So, first off, thanks for joining with me. I'm very blessed to partner with some of the most amazing brand new and veteran agents, partnering shoulder to shoulder, selling life, Medicare, and annuities face to face, but more importantly, in the telespace. So, always free resources for your taking at jasonfinalexpense.com. Anything we can do for you, we absolutely will. So, thanks for partnering with us. I hope you enjoy this. So, first off, tip number one, you got to understand what is an aged final expense lead in the first place. Well, first off, an aged final expense lead is a individual that's shown some interest in final expense insurance in the past but didn't yet purchase. This is so important to understand. They're a high quality prospect, but it's been a little bit of time since they raised their hand. You're now there to help them. So they haven't made a purchase yet, but it's a gold mine of untapped potential because let's get real, most insurance agents are lazy. 92% of the agent force fails because they failed to be diligent about dialing. They get a lead, they call it once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then hang it up and say, this isn't for me. And that is what you're attaining, a high quality aged final expense lead that hasn't yet purchased, most likely. So this is big for you. And it doesn't cost big bucks. You're not spending $4, $6, and $8 a piece for a lead that's 90 days old or less. We can actually help you with resources, attaining these at under $2 a piece when you're going statewide. This is very big for you. You don't want to be overpaying and losing your bucks when you're trying to get the best aged final expense leads on the planet. But an aged final expense lead is great. You just got to understand your perspective is going to help you attain, hopefully, power and positivity, right? But profitability will follow. So it's a great opportunity. You've got to engage it with a glass half full mentality if you want to make money using these leads. But they're phenomenal, a gold mine of untapped potential. Now, tip number two, now once you've acquired these aged final expense leads, you got to make sure that you are touching them in the right way. You've got to have the best lead provider on the planet. You got to make sure first off that they're TCPA compliant, meaning they have opt-in permission. They've been DNC scrubbed, all right, and also scrubbed against what's called the litigators list. It's very important that you have the best aged final expense leads that you can possibly get your hands on. This is why you got to be careful with some of these aged final expense lead vendors that really are selling the same lead 5, 10, 20 times, and then you wonder why aged leads stink. Well, it's because that organization is giving them to everybody. You want to make sure that they're scrubbed and also scrubbed against the litigators list so that you don't call a lead that you shouldn't, and then you'll call it quits real quick. So first off, make sure it's a high quality aged final expense lead provider. Make sure you're not paying more than $2 a piece. And if you're paying more than $2 a piece, reach out at jasonfinalexpense.com. We'll get you the right resources so that you can lower your lead cost and increase your leverage. Leverage is everything, my friends, but you got to find what you focus on here. And that means making sure that they're 90 days or less old. Very critical. You don't want to be touching a 6-month or a year-old lead unless you've scrubbed them immediately when you get them. And that is very important. So many agents don't take that to heart and end up having a big problem on their hands. Now, tip number three, an aged final expense lead maybe had a conversation with someone at one point in time. You've got to approach them different. You've got to stand out from the crowd. This is why your scripting is so instrumental to you finding success. Look on our agent interviews and testimonials playlist, and you'll see a lot of brand new agents that started with aged final expense leads and then went into brand new leads. You can find tremendous levels of success, but you've got to be one that is going to stand out from the rest. You've got to be ready to show these prospects how powerful you are to help them solve their problems. Everybody maybe has gotten tired at one point when you get a brand new lead and maybe you bought a Facebook lead and everybody's calling them. They're like, you're the 8th person that's called me today. Ever had that conversation? You're not going to have that with an aged lead. That's the amazing part of it. There's been a little bit of a time lapse, and that allows you to give them your best. So you're going to stand out from the crowd when you've got good high-end aged final expense scripts, so you can stand out from the pack. And now you will hopefully find more profitability as a result. But you've got to have this mentality of they want and need me. They just haven't purchased yet. Move to the next level. You've got to really focus on them. Now, tip number 4 is you're going to have to do maybe a little bit more nurturing and slowing down if you're doing final expense telesales. When you're working an aged final expense lead, it's not going to be the closest to sense of urgency as when they first filled it out. So you've got to build this foundation so that they can understand what you are going to do from them, or should I say for them. And yes, you're going to stumble over your own tongue at times. That's okay. Just keep leaning in and helping them with the life insurance that they need. And you will be one that hopefully will have amazing profitability working aged final expense leads. They're not frustrating when you know what you're doing, when you're scripted and you're sincere and just taking your time as you take care of them. You may realize there's a whole lot more take-home pay when you're touching aged final expense leads if you don't have a lot of paper in the beginning. If you need good leads, reach out. We'll serve in any way we can. JasonFinalExpense.com. I appreciate you watching. I hope this helps you. We'll see you soon, my friends.